All right, let's keep going here. We were kind of stumped for the minute about the probability of that a random customer uses a credit card. We had said, actually, the probability that they use premium and credit card is what we were trying to compute. And we said, well, look, if we know the probability of A3, but we don't know the probability that C happens given A3. So that was kind of the problem, okay? But, on the other hand, look at what we just computed like a minute ago. We computed the probability of A2 and B and C. Maybe there's something like that we can do here. Because look, if a customer is a premium customer and uses a credit card, then either they're a fill-up or a not fill-up customer. So we could split this thing up over the fill-up and not fill-up customers, right? So this is, basically what I'm doing is, I'm thinking of it like this. So here's a little picture for you. So suppose this, this event right here is A3 and C, okay? And suppose this is B. Well, then if I want the probability of A3 and C, then I can either say, well, it's either here or it's here. And I can just add those two things together. Okay? So this is, right, this event right here is A3 and B and C. And this right here, let me just kind of point at it right here. That right there is A3 and B bar and C. Okay, so it's A3 and B and C and A3 and B bar and C. We just can split up this event over B and its complement. So that's what we're going to do right here when we do this probabilistic computation. So this is going to be the probability of A3 and B and C plus the probability of A3 and B bar and C. Okay? And then we stare at this for a minute and we say, well, for goodness sakes, we just computed A2 and B and C. We were able to compute that just a few minutes ago. So we should be able to compute this thing, yes? So let's see. Can we? Let's kind of let's think about that. All right. So the first summand. Okay. I don't want to. Let me move this a little bit closer so you can see what's going on here a little bit better. Okay. So let me move this a little bit closer. So the probability of A3 and B and C. Well, that's the probability of A3, which we know, times the probability of B given A3, which we know, times the, right, at this point A3 happened, B given A3 happened. At this point, A3 and B have both happened. So times the probability of C given A3 and B. And now we're in business because I actually know that. It's right, right, C given A3 and B is right here. Okay, right there, it's 50%, 50%, okay? And I know the other things as well, okay? B given A3, where's that? Well, that's right there, 50% also, okay? B given A3, 50%, C given A3 and B, 50%, both of those are 50%. And the probability of A3, that was way up at the top. That was like 25%. Yep. Okay, so we have all that stuff. Okay. Plus probability of A3. Now I'm doing this guy right here. Probability of A3 times the probability of B bar given A3 times the probability of C given A3 and B bar. Okay, I know the probability of A3, check mark. Know what that is. I know the probability of, well, let's skip over that one. Probability of C given A3 and B bar, that's right here, that's at the bottom, 40%. What about the probability of B bar given A3? Well, it's just, I know the probability of B given A3, so the probability of B bar given A3 is just 1 minus whatever the probability of B given A3 was. Remember we talked about that. Okay, so I know everything here. I know this, I know that, I know that, I know that, I know that, and I know that. So we can compute this thing. And then finally, so let's just, I mean, let's not go through all of these, but like the probability of the credit card, okay, the probability that a random customer uses a credit card. Well, I can split that up. I can split that up over whether they are a regular customer or a plus customer or a premium customer. That is the probability of C, okay? Let me just kind of erase this and I'll write it right up here, okay? The probability of C, just to kind of show you how to think about this, probability of C is equal to the probability, look, I can split it up over 3 disjoint events that fill up the whole sample space, okay? It's, you know, the probability of credit card and regular plus the probability of credit card and premium plus the probability of credit card and premium. Okay, I could just split it up over those 3 things. And look, we just computed the probability of A3 and C. And in a similar way, I'll be able to compute these guys as well. Right, so that's how we could pull this off. All 3 of those things are obtainable for sure. Okay, so let's just kind of peek at the last one here. If the next customer uses a credit card, what is the probability that premium was requested? Okay, if the next customer uses a credit card, what is the probability that that premium was requested? Okay, so what are we being asked to compute here? Let's just kind of think this through carefully together. Okay, if the next customer uses a credit card, what is the probability that premium was requested? So we want the probability of premium given. Okay, given what? Given that the customer used a credit card. Okay. Probability of premium given that the customer used a credit card. Well, that's going to be pretty easy to compute given the other things because probability of A3 and C, we just computed that. I just erased that off the board, right? Formula for conditional probability is the probability of the intersection of these two divided by the probability of credit card, which we just computed up here. So we would have both of those things and we'd be able to compute that. The probability that someone who, so if the next customer uses a credit card, what's the probability that premium was requested? The probability that, given that a customer is a credit card user, that they are actually purchasing premium. We're able to compute that thing, okay? All right. So let's move on, and I think I'm going to stop for now. We're going to talk about independent events next, which is really rooted in the idea of conditional probability, okay? So I'm going to stop right there, and remember, I'm going to be sending out, I'm going to stop, and that's going to be it for this first day's lectures. I'm going to send out some Zoom invites for tomorrow during my office hours, which are at 8:30. But then I'll also send out a Zoom invite for this class specifically. That will start at 2 p.m. and you can come in and ask questions. during that time. You can do it either during office hours or do it during class time. But you'll just know that class time will be exclusively devoted to this class. Okay? All right. That, my friends, is it for now.